Hey guys, so I was scrolling through my memories and I found this memory from probably from 2021 where I was looking at this new series of comic books in the Star Wars universe. And they're the High Republic comics. So I'm going to put it on the screen here. Um and I have a specific reason to bring this up. So what I want to talk about is how the cultural vandals retcon history to rewrite it and make it in their image. Okay. So Disney Star Wars, Disney Lucasfilm came out. We got our movies. They sucked, right? I didn't like Force Awakens. Some people defend it. I thought it was trash from the beginning. And there's no excuse for it. Not just because of how they treated the legacy characters, but just in terms of the structure of the story itself. I think that all the actors in that, Daisy Ridley, and everybody else, they were all like they deserve better. I think they could do better. I assume anyway. So just not good movies. And they announced they were going to make a new series, a new world called the High Republic. It was basically like a new expansion on the timeline. Now, the sequel's already killed the expanded universe. Now, however you feel about that, I don't know. I never read any of the books. Some people, they swear by them. They think they're great. Some people, they hate them because it's not Lucas' work. It's somebody else, whatever. I assume it's a mixed bag. But like considering what we have now, I don't think it could get much worse than that. So the expanded universe out the window, right? If you're a Star Wars fan, you know this. Now, in terms of like, stuff that is prequels, so the prehistory of Star Wars, there isn't a lot. There is like the Knights of the Old Republic games, I suppose. There might be other game content or books, but that is also being revised. And so these people, Disney Star Wars and these activists, they have created a timeline, I guess, called the High Republic. And I remember reading about the High Republic. They said, oh, we're going to go back to a utopian time, before the Clone Wars, before Anakin, like way before all these things. And it was like a time of discovery, etc. Right? They were basically telling us they're going to expand on Star Wars in the past. Probably because they don't know what to do going forward. Like after Rise of Skywalker, there's like, I don't know what I know they're talking about making another movie. No idea where they could take it. It was just trash from start to finish. But when I heard about the High Republic, even when they first announced it, I said, they're going to wokeify this history and they're going to use it to essentially alter everything else. The reason why I know this is that if there's one thing that these people are good at doing, or one thing these people insist on doing, is rewriting canon. And I don't just mean fictional canon, I mean real canon. Why do you think when you search for, if you go to the Google AI and you ask it to give you like an image of a king or of a like a Roman emperor or whatever it is you ask for, you're gonna get like a black guy or a black woman? That's what I'm talking about. They're hell-bent on rewriting history. And there's a lot about history that has been either oversimplified, obfuscated, things left out, or outright lied to us. So they have to extend this to all forms of canon because they believe that they can speak reality into existence and use it to control our minds. And this is what they do. And I'm not being hyperbolic. This is how they operate. And it is an infectious type of mind virus that spreads, right? So when I heard they were doing the High Republic, I said, they're going to wokeify this. Now, and they're going to use it to essentially alter the canon of the past so that no one can criticize what they do going forward. Because they can say, we've established it as canon. And this is why I'm bringing this up. In 2021, I saw this, and it was proposed. This is from the official Star Wars Facebook page. In honor of Trans Day of Visibility, we're proud to unveil an exclusive cover highlighting Terek and Seret. Get it? Because they took Terec and then they reversed the spelling and they made it a twin brother, C-E-R-E-T. Get it? Get it, guys? Because they're twins? It's like Tomax and Zaymot from G.I. Joe. Trans non-binary Jedi and twins. Currently featured in Marvel's The High Republic comic. We support trans lives, and we are passionate and committed to broadening our representation in a galaxy far, far away. This was 4 years ago, 3 years ago. Okay? And The High Republic is basically, it was, when it first came out, it was basically going to be novels and comic books. And I remember when I said this is going to be a problem, people said, oh no, it's just the comics and books. Who cares? Nobody's going to read that stuff, right? Like, it's not going to permeate. I was like, dude, it's totally, like, the thing is, comics and books are a low cost of entry. You can just go in there with that, and then you use that as the basis to launch other stuff. And then, for some of you guys might know that I was streaming Jedi Survivor. Now, there's a game, I played the first one, Jedi Fallen Order. I thought it was great. I liked it a lot. And I thought it was a nice return to a kind of like just a straightforward single-player game. Because at the time, there weren't a lot of single-player games that were pretty like well-made. Aside from like the Soul series, there was a lot of like either games that were too big, like these big giant Assassin's Creed games, you know, or open world games, or they were multiplayer. And so like a single player game it was refreshing, and I enjoyed Fallen Order for that. And it was so successful they made a sequel. And I was playing Jedi Survivor, which is the sequel. And it's an okay game, but it's a little too, in terms of the gameplay, it's okay. It's not terrible, but I don't really find myself getting sucked into it. But what I did see right away, and it really annoyed me, was it is rife with references to the High Republic. I'm playing for you right now some of the cutscenes in the game. These are moments where you have to put the controller down because you can't play. This is another thing you do, right? They really want to drive home their version of things. And you'll notice, unfortunately, because you're being forced to notice, like how enlightened, wise, and diverse the High Republic is. And it's not just because it's crammed full of women of color, but it is. But just like women in general. And there's also lots of examples I see in various moments of the game where there'll be like a male and a female person, and they're talking, and the women are almost always wiser, smarter, or more witty than the men. Like, I mean, it was constant. And I was like, I can't do it. So I haven't played this in a while. I haven't streamed it in a while. One of the reasons is this. I saw what they were doing. I was like, oh, they basically filled this with woke propaganda disguised as High Republic stuff, which they established with the history already by saying, look, there is this time there's basically an empty space in time, which is the past, the ancient past, right? Which George Lucas did not account for. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this vacancy and we're going to fill it with our stuff. And the best part is that this, because it takes place in the past, because we have wrote it into the past, it will infect everything else. And we can use it to retcon the future. Okay? So first you had it in the comic books and the novels. Then it was in a video game. And we're going to see more of this. If they make more Star Wars games, there's going to be more references to this. I understand that there's a couple of new Star Wars games coming out. I guarantee you they're going to reference either the sequel trilogy, the High Republic, or both. Here's another flashback. And you can see here the pale man, the white man there. He's so white, he's like pure white. He is the villain. He is the main villain of the story. So I haven't finished it yet, so maybe there's a twist that I'm not aware of. But from what I know, he is the villain. So you have a villain who, for whatever reason, comes to the future from the ancient past, from the days of the High Republic, and he's gonna, like, you know, be the villain. I don't even remember what it was. I don't know if it's revenge or whatever. And of course, this woman is super wise and knows the ways of the Force and all that. You know, so this is what we're gonna get. This is like what we're seeing. And to further sort of, you know, put it home, the Acolyte, which was announced, takes place during the period of the High Republic, right? It is part of the Star Wars franchise set at the end of the High Republic era before the events of the main Star Wars films, and follows a Jedi investigation into a series of crimes. So as you can see, I'm using this to explain to you how this works. So, for example, I'll give you another example. X-Men 97 is currently airing on Disney+. And I don't have Disney+, but I have managed to see X-Men 97. I think there's 3 or 4 episodes out right now. And I'm telling you that X-Men 97 is going to be used as a means to retcon the X-Men full stop. Like they're already planting seeds. Now, so far, people have liked the show, and if you like the show, good for you. You know, whatever. But I'm telling you, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop on that, because they've already started doing things in it that, you know, like if you reference the comics, which a lot of the really bad Marvel movies have done, it's not enough to simply reference the comics. You have to reference the best. I think it's better to reference the best stories. So if they want to do X-Men really well, they could do Chris Claremont's run, maybe like the Jim Lee stuff, like the early Jim Lee stuff, maybe stuff from the classic X-Men, not the original X-Men, but there was a period where these books called Classic X-Men they were like a rerun of like the first all new X-Men team. So like when Storm and Wolverine and Colossus like first joined the team. And those were really good adventures. They could do Fall of the Mutants. I'm all about that. They could do the Morlocks. They could do the Marauders. They could do a number of things. And I think some of that stuff was done in the original show. But what they're doing now is I think that what they're going to do with this, first of all, I've watched some of them, and I think that there are good stories that they went through too fast. And it concerns me because I feel like they're setting the pieces for something. And I think that what they have learned is not that people don't want wokeness. What they have learned is that if you're going to put it in, you got to slip it in. You got to do it slowly. You got to like pump the brakes on it. So, okay, so basically, I feel like the X-Men is going to get worse. And I think that people should be vigilant and aware. And don't let them hook you with the nostalgia, because that's what they're trying to do. The member berries are powerful. I get it. But remember, they did that to you with Indiana Jones, and they did it with Star Wars, and they did it with the Marvel movies and the Marvel shows. Like when I heard we were getting She-Hulk, I was excited because I love She-Hulk in the comics, and it couldn't have been worse. And they're trying to give us Daredevil again, and they gave us Spider-Man, and they put, you know, Dr. Octopus in there and Green Goblin. This is what I mean. Like sometimes it works, usually it doesn't. So be vigilant, be on the lookout, and remember they're going to try to alter your canon. And that's because they want to alter the canon of the world. They want to alter actual history, and they've already been doing it. Why do you think they're tearing down statues? Why do you think they're asking things to be renamed? Hell, why do you think we started using the preface Ms. when referring to women, when we used to have Mrs. and Miss in the past? Why? Think about that. All right. Well, anyway, thanks guys for coming on and hearing me out while I vented about this thing. If you guys like this video, please hit like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Help me get to 500 subs so I can create a Discord server and we can build a little community here. And please, please, please share this video. I will be, I think I'm going to have a guest on Wednesday. I'm working on it right now. I'm talking to people involved with Gamergate that are a bit more like, you know, in the know. They're not just talking about the surface level stuff. And I think that it's important that we understand where this comes from so that we can fight it. Thanks so much for coming on the show. And I'll talk to you in the next one. Long live Vivian.